about Face of Evil, right? Let me ask you, going into this, what was your knowledge of the story? Did you know anything about it?
Oh, honestly, I have barely seen anything of old Doctor Who. So I've seen Genesis of the Daleks, and I've seen a lot of the Dalek stuff, but I have never seen this before. So I went into it as new as the day it came out, really, if not more so. Yeah.
Yeah. I honestly, I envy you because I can't really imagine what that will be like. Because it's just so part of my world. Here, one second. Let me pull up the episode, and then I'll be able to show some images from it. There you go. Fine. So, what was your initial impressions?
Okay, so overall, very good. I thought the third episode dragged a little bit, which is surprising given it's only 25 minutes. But that third episode really kind of dragged a little bit for me. But overall, it was really good. And I think just the thing that screams out at you is like, I think if anything, its ideas exceeded its execution. But I'm trying not to be too harsh. I did enjoy it, and it was very, very good, and a million times better than what we're getting now. But I did, and it's just the strength of the scripts and the ideas, and obviously I don't know Tom Baker's Doctor very well. So.
This is the story that is absolutely a triumph of script and ideas over production values, and the production values aren't bad. I mean, they're really not bad at all. But like, I found myself completely carried away with I was very invested in the characters very quickly. I knew who everybody was, and I understood the characters quickly, and I thought the world building was also really clever. Right, you knew before what was going on.
Yeah. Oh, because you're straight into it right at the start. Like that scene where they go outside, Leela and the Doctor, and all those things are hanging down. Like watching back old Doctor Who, like haphazardly, I'm not going like from the start to the end. I've been watching all sorts, jumping around Doctors. Good God, old Doctor Who never used to stay on Earth. Like I get now why classic Doctor Who fans are like, why are we always on Earth? Even in the Russell T Davies first era, and if you kind of understand why everyone's like, why are we always on Earth?
I remember Confidential for. I think it was it was the last Rose episode, or the one beforehand, like the day I died, or what I can't remember what it was called. But they had one
Doomsday.
shot of an alien planet, and with her and the Doctor on David Tennant, and then and on the comedy, Phil Collison was like saying, "That's why we don't go to alien planets. It was a bloody fortune."
Yeah.
But again, I get on a really my thing is the budgets today are used to cover up just poor storytelling and poor writing. You're supposed to go, oh wow, and again you don't really have a great story. But here we don't really get the whole story till you're a good 3/4 of the way into it, but. I found myself instantly dragging. So anyway, if you're new to the story, it starts off with a primitive tribe and a young feisty warrior on warrior woman, a warrior woman on trial. She says, "Will you take the test of the order?" And she's like, "No, I'm not that brave, right?" And so they banish her, right? Her performance is fantastic, right? Her performance is really, really good. All the way through, what they did in the revival era, which I think really helped Doctor Who, which they did here by accident, was it's called a tone meeting, where they got the tone of everybody's, all the departments sat down together and say, "This is the tone we're going for this episode." So they kind of do that here just by having everybody's really at the top of the game. Like the actors are just really knocking it out of the park. Great direction, production design. Again, I think top notch for the era, absolutely. And it all just kind of came together.
Yeah, well, that's
So I was going to say, yeah. Sorry, you're saying?
No. I mean, that's important, isn't it? I mean, to have that idea of right, this is what we're going to go for, because all those departments are going to be different. It's important to be like, right, this is what we're going to do. This is the tone we're going for. Let's all sing off the same hymn sheet, and when it comes together, because it takes a lot to come together, so it's impressive. Looks more like a film.
Yeah. Also, I think it's doing what Doctor Who does best, which is it's engaging the interest and curiosity of intelligent children. Like, kids will notice straight away the sci-fi tech littered around this primitive room, right? And so they go, well, what's going on with that, right? Which is kind of like the central part of the story. So anyway, Louis Jameson, looking gorgeous as always, is forced to flee, forced to be exiled for some religious blasphemy. She oh yeah, there's that whole like what's it called again? Power song going on. That's the shaman of the tribe, and he says they must attack to rescue their god Zanon. Now, what's the name of this actor? He was super buff. You don't notice how buff he is, but he is like that guy worked. We'll see later as we go on, because he's not wearing much, but he is super buff. I want to say, let me look up who he is. Doctor Who, Face of Evil. He must have worked out quite a lot before this, right? So who's the cast? Gentech. Was it Leslie Schofield? I think that was Leslie Schofield. 1 second. Who was in Stenders in the late 90s? Oh, come on. Give me a bloody picture of him. Oh, it's just annoying. Leslie Schofield. No, not him. Okay, fine. He was the he was the guy. Oh, Thomas. Was it Thomas?
No, that was her mate, wasn't it? There was Andor the leader.
Right. That's not it. It's not Thomas. Neva. That's Neva. It was David Garfield, and there's not even a Wikipedia page about him. Bloody hell! That's the is that him? Seeing pictures. It might be him 20 years later. I have no idea. I have no idea. Let me tell you, David Garfield actor. It looks more like Steven Seagal. Oh, there he is. Okay, so this looks like he was probably one of his biggest deals. Is he Andrew Garfield's father? I don't know. Anyway, so there's this whole religious controversy going on. He wants them to attack the and save their entombed god. Leela says, "You're full of shit. We're all gonna die." She's banished, and that's basically where we are. That's,
until Sunday. You've got till sundown to get out, or you'll be thrown to the hoarder.
Or you're thrown to the hoarder, right? Which you get here. One second. You get a nice little hint of the hoarder over here.
Diddle.
I say that soundscape really does well for it. It really kind of sells it. So then we have Tom Baker's Doctor show up, being Solo. He wanted to stay Solo the whole time. Thank God they didn't go along with that, right? Thank God they didn't go along with that. But like the rapport he had with Louis James was fantastic, even though he was a bit salty, right? So and again, look, I just think filming this on film really helped as well. But this is obviously in a set, and I'm totally sold by it, right? I am totally sold. I'm also totally sold by, oh my God, Lou Jameson looks fantastic there. But I'm also totally sold about her. So I like that they send assassins after her. And again, you get this you get to see who she is, that she's a fighter, that she's quite handy. And yeah, it's just kind of like textbook setting out who the character is. And just, again, looking reasonably fantastic all the way through. I can see why you're smiling, Thomas. We all felt that way, mate. We all felt that way.
He's been friend-zoned, I feel.
They have, yes. Yeah, he's trapped in the friend zone. So there's a great meeting with Leela, who you see is brave, is finally scared by something, and she runs and she falls at the feet of the doctor. Really excellent. I like a really excellent meeting of Doctor and Companion, right? And it was a really. I didn't realize how great that arc would be. The way she was written out was a bit naff, I have to tell you. On the thumbnail, I essentially say, that Perry ends up being King Ikanos' wife, and she ends up marrying off a kind of a wimpy Gallifreyan guard. Yeah, it was saying somebody was saying they didn't like what's the name? Poor Traders? Who was it in the chat? Where'd he go? I can't remember his name. Vernon Brody, 1993. You want to watch the guy Andred who steals Leela's heart? Totally unbelievable. Like I could, Joe Grant ends up marrying this guy called Professor Joe Jones. That's believable. That I can believe. This one, not at all. Right? Not at all. Any thoughts about what's happened up until now?
About the episode? Yeah. It's a good intro. Obviously, she literally falls at his feet, and she's like, "The evil one," and he's like, "Well, nobody's perfect, but that's overstating it a little." And obviously, introduces himself as the Doctor, and an Officer of Jelly Baby, and he's like, "You've either got what's he say? You've either got 4 friends with very bad colds, or whatever." And then he's like talking about these creatures that horn in on vibrations. So he just pulls an alarm clock out of his jacket. And again, I wrote down because obviously I'm just getting to know his Doctor. I really am. I know I've seen him in Genesis, I think, but years ago. He's calm, he's quirky, he's in command, and then he just the script, like where he says, never be certain of anything. It's a sign of weakness. And the way that he just calls all spells out.
I agree with you.
Is that just religious gobbledygook, or is that an actual place? Because he finds this tribe with advanced technology and saying, "Oh, men don't." Oh, sorry, no. This is the next scene where again with like the tribe and how believable they are. Like men don't fight while on empty stomachs. It's just like I wrote down.
There's
like
lots
classic,
of clever little lines that give it so much more dimension. There's a great line in Robots of Death, where which is a story that that's right after this, which is essentially Murder on the Orient Express with robots. Same writer, very very good. Anyway, so there's one character who makes a mistake, but the way the Doctor deals with it says, yes, but failure is one of the basic freedoms. Congratulations, and I love that about this Doctor. Fine, so
it's like classic Doctor Who. They needed the scripts to be good. They had this is like almost the backwards version of now. They've got more money. They've never been able to make the product. Oh, I was going to say the production value has never been so good like they tried with the Whittaker era. But they've never had so much money to throw at the screen. But the problem is, it's nice to look at, but there's just nothing behind the eyes. It's like classic Doctor Who. They needed the scripts to be top notch.
Doctor Who used to be the show for smart people. Right, it really did, and it's like that really killed the Whittaker era. This was one of the famous effect shots for the episode where he sets up. So he sets up an alarm clock which attracts the invisible monsters, and they crush the alarm clock out of existence, and then where's it? But meanwhile, back at the tribe, you get a lot more political intrigue going on. So you got this bloke, what's his name? Leslie Schofield.
Andor, is it Andor? And is it Andor? Andor, Andorra, and something like that. And Thomas is the one on the right.
Okay, so Andor is vying to become leader of the tribe. He's a bit of a heretic, doesn't really believe the religious stuff. The current leader totally believes it, right? He is totally faithful. But not so much this guy, Andor. and so he's like vying to become leader of the tribe, and so he wants this thing to go this raid to go through so he can essentially depose the leader for getting everybody killed. Right, so again, you got all these political machinations going on.
Oh yeah, this political stuff is just like fantastic. Like it reminded me of, like if you go read about communist Russia, go read about what the leaders did, and sometimes I think the doctor says it or somebody says it. Sometimes people like this, men like this, are scheming that much that even they aren't sure what their real intentions are. Like it was absolutely fascinating, absolutely brilliant.
There was quite a good movie called The Death of Stalin, which was by the guy who did The Thick of It, and what was it, Veep, which was very much like that.
Still got to catch that yet. It's on my list.
Oh man, it's too long a list to get to. Right. So again, now Neva is a really interesting character as well, in that he starts off being like this religious fanatic. He ends up being a religious fanatic as well. But they had to mention to him as you go along, right? Like at first you don't think he can possibly believe the stuff he's saying, and then you get the idea of his total devotion, and then you kind of find out more about how he's been used, because the doctor looks at his temple, right, his study, and he goes, "Oh, look, there's people. This is some kind of technology involved here." Okay, so they decided to go off on the.
That's a great bit. That's a great bit with the arrows, because the doctor's like, she's like, "Oh, come on, there could be people," and he's like, "They're hardly like to send a patrol," and then arrows hit the tree next to him, and he's like, "On the other hand, I could be wrong." Like, and then when
he's like, "You're either a very good shot or a very bad one."
Yeah, he's like, "May I turn around? I feel a bit silly talking to this tree." I loved it. Yeah, it was. Really, and then they do that.
There's there's so much power in that performance. There's a reason he was really the archetypal Doctor Who. Fine, so where was it? They're they get interrogated because she wasn't allowed back in the village. That's what it was. They're in trouble because she wasn't allowed back. She came back. You have Neva like interrogating him with bits of equipment. He has no idea what they are. It goes on, and where's the cliffhanger end up? Do they break out again?
No, the cliffhanger's the stone carving on the hill.
Right, so I thought they break out again, and he notices like his vestments or office are all bits of spacesuit. Right, so they break out. So Leela comes in and rescues him, and they take him to see the place of the evil one, right? And
that's the scene there. That looks great.
Look at it. Here, let me pick the clip.
That's the evil one.
Is it?
Right. Yeah. No, it looks fantastic. Right. It's such a great little cliffhanger. Here, 1 second. Do I have? I think I'm pretty sure I have it here.
Drop your weapons or I'll kill him with this deadly jelly baby.
Deadly baby, yes.
I really enjoyed that.
Excellent line. I think this is the making of it. Let me whiz through it so I can find the Matt Irving bit. Right, this is the they have the original carving, which they were able to like do lots of sweeps of for the making of. Let me get to the Matt Irving bit. And this was Chris Boucher's first script for Doctor Who, and fantastic. So Louise Jameson, by the way, her initial makeup was just weird. They had no idea what they were doing. There's Matt Irving. So there's this bit in it where she talks about her influences of the character, and she says she based a lot of it on a really precocious, very intelligent 6-year-old who had no idea of boundaries, right? And you can really see that in her performance. That's what Matt Irving has to say.
The face of evil, and a quick scan through the script, you realise the face was the face of the Doctor.
I must have made quite an impression.
And we did it the most logical way you could think of. Booked Tom, probably one of the makeup rooms or something at the centre. And sit here, stick these straws up your nose so you can breathe. Bung this alginate on you. It takes 20 seconds. I mean, frankly, you can hold your breath, but psychologically, you've got these. You can breathe through your nose. And peel the mask off, and then you've got a life mask. Now, the only slight snag is, of course, that Tom does it.
So I don't want to get copyrighted as that.
Yeah.
But but he still has that. I love that Irving still has all this stuff. Fascinating guy. Anyway, so I think really one of the greatest cliffhangers ever. It's fantastic, like because you don't see it coming in any way, shape, or form.
Nope.
So very good.
And I love that part.
Sorry.
I was just going to say one last point on the on episode 1 was that I love the part where they have this religious symbol. It's almost like a Catholic crossing themselves. It's not, but it's like
no, it's like they're checking the power seals on their.
It's a gesture to ward off evil. Yeah, I love that just the details.
It's a really great fusion of of this Doctor Who, right? It's great sci-fi, great Doctor Who. Have you seen much other stuff by Chris Boucher? He did some great episodes of Blake 7, and he did Star Cops, which was I enjoyed it. A lot of people didn't.
I'm on the lookout for some Blake 7 stuff. I've not actually seen any of them, but it keeps cropping up so much. I'm watching other things. I need to give it a look. I need to give it a watch.
No, Blake 7 is awesome. Blake 7 is certainly cut from the same cloth. So anyway, great cliffhanger. He's the evil one. Okay. Meanwhile, political machinations. And again, when he gets his this shirt off, he is so freaking buff. This guy. Yeah, there you go. They must have worked out forever before this, or maybe it was just the 70s where everybody had a better diet. I don't know. All right, so now we've got some interesting sleuthing from the Fourth Doctor. He hears the voice of Zanon, right, in this scene, right, and he's trying to work out what in fact is going on. And I do like him trying to put together all the parts of the. This is it. They actually hears the voice of Zanon and said, "Well, I didn't expect that to really happen." But again, Doctor Who doing what it does well. First, it built a world and built good characters, and he built the he got the beginnings of it. Now Doctor Who is sleuthing, right, to try and work out what's going on with this. And what's this scene over here? Oh yeah, this is just showing off the Cunning Monkey special effects, which I think are excellent.
I've seen it.
Which you can get free at cunningmonkey.co.uk. Let me see if I'll put the link in. 1 second.
It's the time barrier, I think, isn't it?
Right. So yeah, he does all these in the spare time, and generally speaking, I think they're absolutely excellent. Here, 1 second.
Done as a parlor trick, but never on this scale.
Isn't there any way to get through it?
Not unless whoever sent it up deliberately bridged it.
So that means Andor and the others.
Or walking into a trap, yes.
Right. So again, a strong recommend for the new. So yeah, they. So now you're getting the idea that the primitive tribe is being talked into going on this attack, which they can't possibly win. And you're like, well, what's going to happen? And again, all this religious fury. I think they just have some new effects. Where was it? Did I miss it? There you go. Right, it doesn't go well, right? Their attack does not go well. Good news for this bloke, right? Very good news for him. It's like, fine, we'll finally be able to get rid of the leader. So then, Janus thorns. Leela's favorite method of killing people with these thorns that have this poison in. You get paralyzed and you die within 2 or 3 minutes. Is it the first episode where Tom Baker's like, no more Janus thorns? Is very, very adamantly against them. Or am I thinking of Talons of Wen Chiang, which is 2 stories away? I can't remember.
Well, he does say that to her though. Definitely, he definitely says that. He's like, no more of that, because he's like, he's annoyed with her, angry with her about.
Right. And I like that as well. Again, was it the adding the layering of the realism of character, right? How they have like a worldview that they stick to, right? And it keeps being reiterated. Lonnie says episode 1. Yeah, no, I love that. Again, absolutely love it. So then now we set up what a Janus thorn is. Leela is stung by a Janus thorn, right? So it's I think it's testament to Louise Jameson of how much you care about this at this point, right? It's really, really tense. He overpowers her, and then he starts using this like ancient discarded equipment to try and synthesize a cure. And his what was it? His interaction with what's the name? It's just brilliant.
Yeah, this doctor's got a bit of fight in him. He's a philosopher, absolutely. But he's not. You know, he's got a bit of fight in him. Although apparently Tom Baker, he said he was going to, when they said, "Oh, you're going to threaten somebody with a weapon," he refused, and that's why he used the jelly baby. Apparently, I read.
I believe. Yeah, no, Tom Baker. I enjoy listening to Tom Baker and Nick Briggs talk about his. Nick Briggs talk about Tom Baker's process while doing the audios. He's a much more detail orientated actor than you think. You think this is all very intuitive, but like he really sits down and thinks about stuff. So anyway, there's this great little scene where he synthesizes a cure for this deadly Janus thorn. Really good little bit of tension. Now that sets him up as being a otherworldly, godlike character, and he already looks like the devil. Remember, right? This guy is the religious leader, and this guy literally looks like the carving of the devil, right? So he's like they're not happy to see him. So that's why he failed. That's why the attack failed, because he's the evil one. So this leads not close to cliffhanger. He now has to take the mystical test of the Hoarder, which is essentially that he's on a platform that opens up, and more opens up. He's got to shoot a rope, but the rope gets thinner, and if it goes too far, he gets eaten by the Hoarder, right? Yeah, that's a great little bit. 1 second. Somebody slaps Leela, which a bit surprising.
Silence. He does it alone.
Who's that man? Which man?
Oh, yeah.
That man.
Again, so Doctor Who, right?
It was great. It was great.
Right, it's like it's a moral giant at all times. Fine. So he does the test of the Hoarder, and there's not really tense because you know he's going to do it. Fine. So now he talks to Neva, right? And he's trying to get inside the religion, right? And you see them kind of like melding, like him softening his attitude, because he's pretending to be the god, right? Zanon. And I can't remember. So the doctor's basically just stirring up. Oh yeah, so he's stirring up stuff. He's making a weapon to fight against the invisible monsters, and basically going around making plans. Right, Doctor Who stuff. What's this?
Yes, Master.
Right, this is a bit where he impersonates the god. Right, and he knows he must have something to do it because there's a big whacking carving of his face. So anyway, now the evil god entity that they don't know, it's decided to turn off the invisible barrier, and the invisible monsters can get in, right? And so they start attacking, and they're going to, I should say, and they go up through the nose of the they're over the they go up through the mouth of the
Rabbi, we missed a bit. We missed a great bit where
what I missed?
so well, it's just after, so it's the bit where it's like there's no cure. Yes, it's just a matter of finding one, which I loved, and the answers aren't easy. Answers are easy. It's asking the right questions, which are hard. And then there's a debate between Andor and the religious buff fella, and basically the doctor sits there and he uses tennis scores, so he's like 15 love.
Oh
15
yes,
all.
that
I
was
love that
great.
bit.
Right here.
That was
This is
really
right
good.
here. Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Totally. So it renewed itself.
Ha! If you can believe that, you can believe anything. I'll tell you once again, I am not the evil one.
But it was you who wiped out the attack.
Well, so he comes in right any second now, right? I know the scene you're talking about. Got to the test of the Hoarder.
That there, Rabbi, is a better example of the whole witch hunting in England and around the in America.
Yes,
in like
and it's a
30
real
seconds.
example of the failure of politics.
Yeah,
right.
and the whole stupid bloody episode they try to do, but let's not get into that.
Which episode we're talking about?
Oh, they did one in Whitaker's, didn't they? And what's his? Oh, it was dreadful.
Oh, the Donald Trump
dreadful.
one.
No,
Okay.
no. It was. They did a witch finder one, and it had King James.
Oh, that was awful.
Oh, it was dreadful. Oh, it was
really genuinely awful.
so
Actually, I felt
stupid.
bad for who was it? The writer of that. Who again? I think if that writer, I can't remember her name, but I think if she was in a normal time and they had a normal showrunner and who would challenge you on your script and make it and improve it, she would. Joy Wilkinson, is it? They would have come out with something decent, but it was just garbage, right? And then you got Alan Cumming doing King James, I didn't get the super gay king thing. He may have been super gay. I'm not denying it. I don't know if he was super gay, but what the fuck was up with that? It made no sense.
It was a very strange. It was a very strange. It was a very strange choice. There's no doubt there's been gay people around for, time immemorial, right?
Right.
It's not a shock, but I don't think anybody who wanted to keep that a secret, particularly if you were a king, I don't think you would act like that. And then that becomes unrealistic because as somebody watching it, and I love history, it's like that's not how somebody would act. And if somebody did act like that, they wouldn't be king for long, rightly or wrongly. It's not right, obviously, but it's just like what makes no sense. And it was all that strange. And because he kept calling Ryan, oh God, honestly,
the Nubian,
Nubian prince or something, and it was like,
it was just everything about it was cringe. Especially Jodie Whittaker was just shit in the role, right? Absolutely, and I wish we could do a crowdfunding campaign to get Jodie Whittaker to do the great Tom Baker speeches. Do you remember Genesis and Daleks when holding up the two wires saying, "Do I have the right?" I'd love to see Jodie Whittaker do that. That'd be hilarious. Yeah. Right. Okay, so a cliffhanger episode 2 is they get inside the face of evil, right? Literally the face of evil, and a test shows up, right? People from the other side of the boundary. Oh no! They let down the barrier. No, not now. I just want to show you the special effect with the new special effect with the gun. For me that makes this better. I like that better. Karney Monkey do great work. And Andor's dead, right? Good news for what's his name? Not Thomas, not Caleb. Who is it? No, it is. It's Caleb. Right? Good news for Caleb, right? Andor is dead. King is dead. Now it's time. Now it's my time. Anyway, so they so you have these invisible monsters attacking. Okay, cliffhanger, right? But to me, this one moves the story forward in a pretty strong way. Any thoughts?
Yeah, very, very good. Another line I think from the Doctor says, we live in an imperfect universe. So simple, but like so effective.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And that face as well. Like I wasn't expecting that because up until this point, you're thinking, yeah, okay, he's been there before. His face is carved on this big mountain, rock face. Like that doesn't mean it doesn't mean a lot.
Yeah, but the reveal of the face in the beam, I thought was really great.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Because you know what? Because I thought I recognized the voice of Zanon right at the beginning, like in the first episode, or which second episode, but I couldn't quite place who it was. So I genuinely watching it for the first time was like, oh, it is the Doctor's voice.
Right. And I'm
is.
forgetting it's the first time you saw it. So the reveal of the face here, you must be like, what? That's crazy.
Yeah, it was great. Really, really good. It's no wonder. It's no wonder. I'm sorry to keep dragging us down this cul-de-sac, but or dead end. It's honestly, it's no wonder like people like I have like get annoyed about the new stuff and the Whittaker stuff from the standpoint of somebody who's been watching it since 2005. Like going back to the old stuff, and it's like, oh my god, no wonder people are annoyed. Like no wonder people are fed up. Like if they've got this, like. It looks a bit old and a bit hawky, but the stories are great.
The difference in quality is just is breathtaking.
It
really genuinely is. It's like it's a different universe. And again, this was speaking of somebody who quite liked the Shooting Gatwa episode. I thought he was okay in it, right? I'm intrigued to see more, but which I understand puts me in somewhat of a minority. Most people are like, well, what the hell? Leave me alone. Fine. Part 3. Fine. So we had the big attack. Meanwhile, we now go investigate the other side of the big mountain where they have this spaceship, which equally has no idea what it is or what it's doing there. You have all this technology. And it's just a mystery of people working there now. The people who live there. People live there now, very different from the savages. These are like ultra advanced, very, very very civilized, and also somewhat brutal technocrats. I think is the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
Right. So you're seeing a societal dynamic build up, which is deeply unhealthy and self-destructive, right? And so at this point, I think one is thinking, how did this all happen, right? So they capture Leela, but they revere Tom Baker, right? So he's the good one according to them, not the evil one, well, not the good one. He's like the god, right? So he asks them questions, but then pretty soon he breaks the faith, right? He says, "Oh, wait a minute. You can't be him," right? So they tend to give him the same fate as Leela, which is to be atomized by a he works out when he decides to save Leela, atomized by a laser so they can analyze her. Again, I mean, look, this is just a masturbatory fantasy material that will stay with you forever and always keep you warm at night. Let me tell you. So he wants to rescue Leela. That means he's a bad guy. And okay, another thing where I'm kind of glad of the new special effects was in this sequence, because the original effects are a bit funky. Where is it? Sorry, go ahead.
I must have seen, because I watched these on iPlayer, sorry, Rabbi, but over here we've got all the old ones on iPlayer.
No, go for it.
Now, at least.
Why wouldn't you do that?
So I think I've watched it with the new effects unknowingly, but yeah, this episode was where it started. I think this is where it would benefit from a rewatch, because this episode felt like the pacing somewhat dropped, and you've been a bit panicky.
Right.
The pacing dropped a little bit. Right. You know, and hey, if you don't like Leela strapped down, you've got Tom Baker. So the catering for all.
I guess you're covered all bases. Anyway, so rather unconvincingly, they break out, but they do anyway, right? And so now you get a little bit more idea of like the sterile society, sterile society that they have in the Tesh world. right? And finally, we get a bit of a look at Zanon. I do like these new effects; they're very cool. So meanwhile, the laser beam thing the Doctor made is running out of energy. It like self recharges, and he's found how he can communicate with. Oh, this is great! I love this scene. Right, he talks to Neva. Right, I think it's either this scene or in the next episode, and pretends to be Zanon. But then Neva worked out that who he is. He says, "Yes, Doctor." Right, so he knows it's not Zanon. Right, again, I just love the interesting layers they give the character. Also, I love the look of like religious supplication he's got on his face there. It's a really interesting development. Okay, let me ask you: when was the last time we had a character this layered? Right? Oh, I think maybe Midnight. Right, the people on the bus at midnight, but generally speaking, I don't know.
I mean, I mean, Turn Left's pretty good. I mean, I watched Turn Left, and that was pretty good. There's some good characters in that, but in terms of sorry, go on.
No, you go.
No, because I love the character of Colasanto. That's the Italian guy who lives in a house in Leeds.
Exactly.
And he was brilliant in that, and like as the family, and then he gets taken away to a quote unquote labor camp, and Donna doesn't realize what's going on, but Wilf certainly does. So
exactly.
I mean, really, really good stuff. And to be fair, the last time I saw a character, this is going to be a bit of a weird one because I think the episode in the whole I didn't like as such, but I liked the Hath in the Doctor's Daughter. Wasn't a big fan of the episode, which I'll discuss later on. But I loved the Hath character that ends up with Martha, and they end up going over the top of like the planet.
Oh yeah, you know what?
Like
there is a lot of emoting in that, like dialogue-free performance. I will agree with you. But like, okay, if you take a character like Neva like this and compare it to characters they really tried to build up a lot, like Kate Lethbridge-Stewart and whatever her name was, Osgood, right? I'm not interested. I'm much more interested in this character after 3 episodes, right? I'm like, okay, let me see more about him. I think it's because of the performance and the writing. Again, it's just stunning performance and writing.
Well, it is.
Fine. Things are moving on. The Doctor's trying to work out what's going on. Civil War's happening. Leela's hot and feisty and deadly, right? Meanwhile, the Doctor's told them how to get into the the other side of the mountain, right? There's a secret entrance, and finally, the Doctor meets Zanon, the god, the eponymous god that has gone mad, while Leela defends again. Great Doctor Who companion stuff, right? Defends the position while he communes them. I love this cliffhanger, right? It's a really, really weird cliffhanger as Leela's fighting them off. He's encountered Zanon on the computer, right? Who is got several personalities, one of them being him. And so it triggers this like complete breakdown, right? In Zanon, where Zanon's like screaming, "Who am I here?" Is this the scene?
Oh, yes.
I grow tired. I'm thinking no longer.
No, wait, Zanon. I'm the Doctor. I'm separate. I'm real. You must acknowledge me.
I will not thank you.
We are Zanon.
And I'm the Doctor.
Yeah, his performance as well. Just really nailing it, like really absolutely nailing it. And like, how much is he nailing it? How many years ago is this? 50 years ago? 40? I'm like, it's still like fresh as a daisy for me. Right? It's but the
nearly 50 years, 47 years ago.
I am the Doctor.
You got the kid who did the Who Am I in the studio for that. I hear what you're saying about episode 3. Like the whole sequence around the laser thing didn't really work, right? I do tend to agree with you there.
I mean, because it seems like it's where it feels like they kept all the explanation for that episode. So, like, we find out that Tesha who were the tribe, remained on the land. They were the technicians, or whichever way it was. And it's this big experiment of eugenics. I mean, can you imagine New Who saying eugenics for a start? I mean, it's so like such a thinker's thing, isn't it? And then the doctor's like, we're all the same people beneath our beliefs. Like, it's just like, this is the thing. It doesn't take aim in any one direction. It's like Star Trek Next Generation. It says
morality doesn't. Morality is universal, right? Which is something I think they've really forgotten. Anyway, so now we're round the corner to episode 4. There we go, doink. And again, really great conclusion. So you have like this massive meltdown. Leela goes in and saves the doctor. Again, great companion stuff. Gets injured themselves, and and at this point, this is something I absolutely adore, that Zanon, the computer Zanon, can't allow the Doctor to exist, because if the Doctor exists, it disproves his fundamental worldview that he's a Doctor, right? And so it's just for me, this is exactly the same as this is why people are so crazy about Trump, right? So crazy about Brexit, because it disproves their worldview, right? And it disproves it viscerally. And I think that Zanon, the computer in this, has exactly the same reaction as we've seen for the last like 7-8 years of people just freaking the hell out, right? And it's really fascinating that it's like it explains it, and it's true, and it was as true then as it is true now. It's just nobody ever thought that it will become like part of our everyday life, which is just bizarreville.
Can I give you a real life? A real life interaction I literally saw happen.
Okay.
between a young man and a young woman, like in their 20s. I think they were arguing because the guy had voted for Brexit and the woman hadn't voted for Brexit, and the woman said,
yes.
The woman said, and this happened like in front of me, and was I on a bus or a train, something? I was traveling somewhere, and someone, it must be years ago, because and the woman was like getting upset but not crying, but was just very much like, I can't believe it. I can't believe you voted that way. Like, I've never met anybody who voted for Brexit. And the guy said to her, well, maybe that's the problem. And it was it was such like I think they stopped talking in the end, but you could tell they knew each other. And it was very much like, it was just that reaction of, well, I've never met anyone I can't understand. And the guy was like, well, maybe that's the problem.
I remember clearly when this started, right? That we who was it? Alan Dershowitz, I think, was coined the phrase, and he says that we are moralizing our political differences. That if we have a different political view, we're not just saying that I think this is better for the country. You think that we're saying that we think you are evil and immoral if you don't think the same way as me, right? And that was a good 7-8 years ago, and it hasn't made anything better, right? It just hasn't made anything. And again, look at the quality of script, right? Because 47 years ago, it's talking about today in a brilliant way, and it's as relevant now as it was then. It's just, I don't think you're going to see that much in the TV made in the last 5 to 10 years myself, right? I don't see that. So anyway, as the episode goes on, there's all this surrounding all these machinations to basically ends up wanting to destroy half the planet. Meanwhile, the Sever team have broken in and they're attacking the Tesh. And you got this civil war. So essentially, what was going on was a experiment in eugenics. You had the Sever team were built for strength and like physical prowess and agility, while the Tesh were conditioned to have mental control and be able to have like telepathy and mental powers, and they wanted to eventually join them together to make a super being.
It's almost like a class struggle, isn't it? You could even put it into a class struggle. Like
exactly. And again, it really intelligently talks about why not a class struggle, but why there are class struggles, right? Why there are why there are civil wars, exactly.
Well, there was Sorry, I've interrupted you again. Sorry, Rabbi.
Go ahead.
Again. It was great. I mean, just the script, just absolutely, because this is what a good script does. It lets anybody, whether you be from one country or another or whatever, and to look at it different ways. I mean, the doctor says it's an omnipotent computer with schizophrenia. It's all my fault. And then I think in this episode he says, the very powerful and the very stupid have one thing in common. They don't alter their views to fit the facts. They alter facts to fit their views. And I was like, oh my God, that is like that sounds like something somebody could have written yesterday. But
they wouldn't write it because you're not allowed to go against the group thing.
Well, he says which could be
50 years ago.
Well, he said which can be uncomfortable if you happen to be one of the facts that needs altering. It was like the warning of technology as well. Like we've just been talking about AI earlier, but the doctor's talking about the Tesha, who are the technicians, the guys with the fancy hats. They see the Sever team or survey team as savages and want to eradicate them. And it's a warning of technology. It's a warning of essentially racial cleansing. And the thing is, this isn't me and Rabbi. Not that I'm like I can't see in it was head, but this isn't us reaching for things. Like I think more often you're like reaching. This is right there.
Debate. Yeah, intelligent ideas again, which and they try so hard with their this new crap. But the problem is this: to make writers, I think you need good readers, and we don't. And this generation haven't read. This generation grew up playing video games, and on whatever. Facebook, right? To make writers, you need readers. If you can find it online, Harlan Ellison was a great sci-fi writer. He did a lot of Babylon 5. He was quite.
Yeah, he did the glass hand, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he was a really good. So find him talking about literally anything. He would always be giving commentary about stuff. Right, and I love his commentary. It's as relevant as it ever was. He died about 10 years ago, right? But fantastic stuff. Anyway, so now we have Zanon taking over the minds of all the Tesh and also all the Leela and everybody to try and get the doctor. Meanwhile, but the one person his control doesn't work on is the religious the religious devotee, the faithful, who feels scorned, right? This is a man whose faith has been shattered. And now he wants to destroy his God, right? Which I find a really, again, it's so true, right? You never find, like, the people who hate smoking most are people who are anti-smokers most are people who quit smoking, right? They're always kind of evangelical about it. Right, so I love that the denouement is brought down by Neva destroying the god that has broken him. Right, it's just fantastic.
I haven't seen the new effects because I didn't see that beams out of his eyes, so I must have watched the old effects then.
Yeah. Anyway, these new effects aren't official. Again, they were done by a bloke called Cunning Monkey.
They're pretty good.
Free! Destroy! Free! Zanon! Destroy! Die!
It's the whisper. It's the whisper. Well,
right.
See, the thing is, Rabbi, I grew up with Tom Baker as the narration of Little Britain. Which at the time,
perfect.
everyone thought was this really silly comedy show, and you watch it back now, and there's actually some decent satire in there. But that's
he was great of it because David Williams is a big Doctor Who fan. Okay, so now we're into the epilogue sort of where the Doctor wakes up. It's 2 days later.
Yeah, he's out cold after
doing half the I just love his expressions. Right, and Leela's very, very calm, cool, and relaxed, and so he goes in to meet Zanon, and I love this denouement, right, where he talks to Zanon, who's now together and calm, but the bit that I really love is you have the two factions at each other's throats, and Zanon in attempt to make peace offers his self-destruct button, right? I absolutely love it. And then when neither of them take it, here, let me see if we get Tom Biggs' reaction.
Little Gentech. Good. You've got to trust someone sometime.
So again, it's just if you watch Doctor Who, you will come out a good person. That's really, there's so many like basic elements of like how to be a great human being. It gets embedded in this one story, right? No wonder I love this show so much.
His entrance into that scene's brilliant because they're all arguing. He walks and he's like, democracy at work, I see. And then they're like, we must pick a leader. And he's like, that's not my problem. Like, it was so good. So good.
And then the tacked on scene at the end where Leela joins. I think he's a bit mean saying, no, you can't come with. Right. And she a wonderful story, right? It really is absolutely wonderful story. So I don't know. I can't recommend that enough, right? It's such a full frothy meal of ideas, right? Of great, interesting sci-fi ideas, great characters, great direction, great acting, just all fused together. No wonder I love this show so freaking much. It's so awesome, right? It's so clever. What would you say to on your wrapping up review of this?
Yeah, very, very good story. I think third episode was a bit plodding, but you know the story and the writing's so strong. You can overlook that. Like, it's just a nitpick. Like, it doesn't, it was just such a strong story. And, I get that kind of for people watching, listening, that Rabbi's picking like some of his favorite stuff for me to watch. And I've no doubt there's some absolute duffers out there.
What's wrong with that? What would we
not at all. Not at all. I don't know. At least it shows you like me. If you're like, I'll tell you what you should watch. No, it's very, very good. But it's if I'm not going to watch the new stuff, then I'll go back and I'll watch the old stuff because like I was a kid with what was it, 12, whatever I was when the first series started coming. The new series started again. Like perfect to watch it really. Like
perfect age.
And like now it's just. You just think it's fallen so far from grace, and you go back and you watch the old stuff, which I've never seen before. It's such a shame that you can't get like the perfect Doctor Who would be like the strength of writing like this, and from things like Remembrance of the Daleks, but with look at the technology they can put into Daleks now and into Zygons now and stuff, and it's like and Autons now. It's like, why can't
I think the original Zygons look way scarier than the new ones. Like the original,
I need to watch the original,
aliens to me, and the new ones look like people in suits.
Yeah, they're a bit odd, but what can you do? But yeah.
My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.